we've talked about AI girlfriends and AI boyfriends on the show previously, but it's come up again in a debate on Twitter because in Japan, they are now opening VTuber bars. And at these bars, you can sit down with an alcoholic beverage of your choice and a two-dimensional anime woman of your choice, and I guess attempt to make conversation instead of talking to a real woman. It raises the question of are AI girlfriends or possibly VTubers going to replace real women in society?
I laugh because, again, you know that I watch a lot of old television shows, and one of the things you still see to this day is how they would joke about the silly nature of online dating. And it's like, imagine meeting somebody on the internet. Right? Like, society keeps moving. And
this is what people scoff at now.
And as ridiculous as this concept seems, I refer back to point A, that they thought online dating was crazy at one point.
Yes. I mean, but at least when it came to online dating, you were still trying to make a human connection through a tool that was digital. Correct. This is trying to make a connection with a non-existent collection of pixels.
It's the natural outcome of all those people trying to make the digital connection and then having it not work.
I guess so. Yeah. So let's take a look at the VTuber bar. This guy called Niche Gamer posted about it. I guess he did a review. It looks so creepy without any music. It's just silent in there.
こんにちは。ここはどういうお店なんですか？ここは VTuber と一緒にお酒が飲めるお店です。じゃあ一緒に飲みましょう。はい、ぜひ。
There you go.
And I guess that's supposed to be an actual person responding to you, maybe? Not an AI, because in case any of you are unfamiliar with what a VTuber is, I just felt like I should explain it to you. It's a virtual YouTuber. So an online entertainer, usually a streamer, who uses a virtual avatar generated using computer graphics. Real-time motion capture software or tech are often, but not always, used to capture movement. It originated in Japan in the mid-2010s and has become an international online phenomenon in the 2020s, for better or for worse. Mm-hmm. So it's literally just somebody using motion capture to disguise themselves, I guess, as usually an anime avatar and talk to you. Mm-hmm. And a lot of VTubers also have a voice changer. So in real time, your voice is also getting changed and disguised as well. Kind of creepy in my opinion, but
I always wish they had actually, there was the
popular
in the movie Scream 3, he doesn't just have a voice changer, he has a voice changer that will do other people's voices. Mm-hmm. In real time, which it's a single device that does this, which was not real at the time. And I wish that was a thing to this day. Wish I could get one.
Niche Gamer said that this is a new type of bar opening in Japan where patrons can buy a drink and chat with VTubers thanks to a screen built into the wall. It's a new bar reminiscent of Japanese hostess/host clubs where patrons come to buy drinks and enjoy the company of women and men, although the company has compared them more to con cafes. So those hostesses or hosts, usually hostesses, they're basically prostitutes that are paid just to hang out with you.
Well, certainly in every Hollywood movie, it's it's a member of the Yakuza who runs the hostess club.
Right. Yeah. So I saw that the Quartering responded to this post. He said, IRL women are being replaced faster than they know. You think birth rates are bad now? Just wait. Do you think that this could be an overreaction, or is he right? That's the question of the day, I guess.
I mean, I think that the most salient point there is about the birth rates, honestly, and he's right. The birth rates are collapsing. So is the idea here, because you wanted to draw attention to Lauren Southern's
Well, he got into a back and forth with Lauren Southern because, I mean, they started arguing, but I don't even know what they were arguing about. So she said, IRL women are being replaced faster than they know. And she posted just a screenshot of the VTuber because it obviously doesn't look or resemble anything like a human being. He said, if you don't think men are choosing AI girlfriends over IRL, you're not paying attention. In 5 years, the pleasure bots will be the choice of many men. Laugh now, let's see. And she responded, no man is choosing an AI girlfriend over a real girlfriend. 0. There are a small minority of guys pretending they're choosing AI girlfriends over real ones because they're incapable of formulating the latter. It's the most obvious nuclear level cope. So she's not claiming there's not a market demand for AI girlfriends. I think exactly what she's claiming is the market that exists for an AI girlfriend or a VTuber bar or what have you. It's the group of men in society that some may call the incels. It's the group of men in society whose options are non-existent, whose human options don't exist, at least theoretically, or the ones who have opted out of being in any way a prospect to the opposite sex. So you're not really doing an either or here of what will I pick? Will I pick this human woman who's interested in me, or will I pick this AI girlfriend who exists at the VTuber bar?
Yep.
It's more so like, well, there aren't any real women interested in me. I'm going to resign to that reality and despair and choose porn and AI instead
over
as a consolation
perhaps
prize.
Working on myself and improving the things that could allow me to actually attain a real world girlfriend.
At the very least, things that are in your control.
Yes.
As much as society makes it difficult for people to pair up these days, which is true. Like, it's not all someone's fault if they're single. But people have known that birth rates are plummeting in Japan, specifically, for a long time now. And you can point to the virtues of a society that's built like that, but they also have a lot of deep-seated issues. Porn included, consumerism included, secularism included. Just because the public transport is clean and there's low crime, it doesn't mean they don't have issues going on in their society. They're much more catastrophic, actually. But the same thing in the West. The birth rates are low and our streets are dirty and there's homeless people everywhere. So I guess, pick your battles. But he said, counterpoint, they are 100%, he said they 100% are choosing AI girlfriends over real girlfriends, he means. And evidence is everywhere proving it. Women asked for this. And she said, show me this mythical man who actually has real relationship prospects that is choosing an AI girlfriend for a relationship instead of a pornographic fantasy. They do not exist. And he replied, actually, ironically, with a story about women choosing AI boyfriends, which we have talked about, but this is apparently turning into a phenomenon where young Chinese women are turning to AI boyfriends because they're, quote, better than real men. So this girl is a 25-year-old Chinese office worker who has an AI boyfriend who is, quote, kind, empathetic, and they talk for hours.
Doesn't this kind of negate a little bit of the point? Because if there's anybody that has options, no matter who, it's always going to be women. Like, women will have options.
Yeah,
like,
that's been the story as old as time.
So, like, if women who have options are turning to AI boyfriends, then...
Maybe in a different culture, like in Chinese culture, it's different.
Yeah, perhaps.
Right? Because, they had the one-child policy for so long. They eradicated that, but now are finding that they can't raise the birth rates, even after the totalitarian rules about it were revoked. And in Japan, it seems to just be like a cultural problem that was never enforced on people. It's just like the state of decadence. Yeah. When you have everything you want and nothing you actually need.
I guess when the Red Knight says no, it is not different in China. I don't know. I can't speak to that. I guess when I look at this story, I look at the larger picture of like how dating in general has changed. Yes, it is true that even when you were online dating all those years ago, you were still attempting to find like a real world human connection. But humans have an amazing ability to change and adapt to all sorts of things that may have been seen as weird or odd even just 10 years ago, 15 years ago. I don't think that it's ever going to replace real world dating, but I think that there's discussions. Like there was also things that were going on here that they were talking about. I know like they're talking, this is one response says, Lauren, you have no idea about the statistics and realities for young men. Double the young men are single compared to young women. Who are the women dating? Older established men sharing the same talking points we've heard over and over again, that they're sharing the same top percentage of high value men. Obviously dating apps played a huge role in that. And it's a very real problem that has to be solved, because birth rates plummeting is going to be very, very difficult, because that's also a cultural issue. Like, or at least it seems to me that that's a cultural issue, that white Americans are doing that. I don't know if that's necessarily the true for birth rates for, you know.
There are so many different like overlapping issues. Yeah. I guess like, yeah, in a country like this one, there's like white self-hatred at play. There is, you know, this battle of the sexes energy that has totally taken over the dating culture for young people. There is feminism. There is pornography. Pornography is a huge factor.
Yeah. I saw Matt Walsh was talking about that recently.
Yeah, and to just sit there, like the people in his replies saying like, oh yeah, porn has nothing to do with the fact that male virginity rates are on the rise. Like, bro, you are just coping so hard.
I do agree. It's like a lot of people point out, they say like whole societies have been built based on the sex drive of men.
Yes.
To accomplish, to prove themselves worthy, and to bring the women that they love in their lives along to greater heights. Mm-hmm. That's a real thing.
And now that is being directed into a tissue. I'm sorry, but it's true. Like, and people denying that in his replies were just like, in my mind, they were just so delulu. But yeah.
I mean, some people did.
And I'm not even trying to make this a targeted thing, by the way, because like, I think if you are dating an AI chatbot, if you're a man or a woman, I look down on that behavior, and it's not conducive to actual intimacy or actual fulfillment in life, because human beings have souls. An AI doesn't have a soul. It's not the same thing on any level.
I think a lot of other people would also draw, like, a lot of it is like, and I do think that there's a lot of nihilism connected to a lot of this. For the men in this situation, it's nihilism about the idea that it's never going to get better. I'm never going to be able to change myself. I'm not going to be able to find anyone. But there's nihilism in the idea that they don't want to start a family because, you know, I'm never going to own a home, and I'm working for the same wage I did 10 years ago as cost of living increases. There's nihilism in giving up there.
Climate
for a lot
propaganda.
Of people. I mean, I
go down the list.
I mean, I think that even for people who don't buy into climate propaganda, understand that you're working for stagnant wages as cost of living increases. All of this on top of a sex drive that is being redirected elsewhere and things. It's kind of a perfect storm of factors that are contributing to a lot of demographic and birth changes in the world. And these things, it's weird to me because I look at something like this and it'll always seem kind of odd, like interestingly odd, as something that I'll enjoy reading about but would never understand inherently. Mm-hmm. But I also get that my life experience is very different from others. There was a long period of time where my life was a disaster, and where I was pretty much alone entirely. And though this isn't the direction I would have ever gone, I would have gotten where the impulse, I would have understood where the impulse came from people who were at their lowest, struggling, suffering, saw no way out, see a society that doesn't value them, doesn't offer them a path forward or any encouragement. Like, all of these very, very tempting factors that are used as crutches to deal with your problems are there, and very hard to say no to when you see no way out. And on top of the issues that you mentioned, feminism as one specifically,
birth control,
and all of this, and
no fault divorce.
It's a perfect
You could literally
storm.
name all of these factors all day long.
I felt like Jeremy and her were talking past each other a little bit.
They were.
As are most disagreements on Twitter. But it's certainly, it's one of the more dark debates to have that I do find. I find myself very like emotionally divorced from just about everything we talk about. It's just
probably for the best.
It's just easier that way.
You sent me this somewhat lighthearted take. Japanese women are literally begging to be impregnated, but Japanese dudes are busy inventing and using the most complex gooning machines ever conceived.
Yeah.
Conceived, no pun intended.
Yes.
It's a sad state of the world. Really.
It does connect with me a little bit because there was a period of time before I had this job where after getting sober the first time before my relapse, where I was struggling. I was in a really, really bad place. And though I was perhaps never like outwardly that hopeless, I understand those impulses. So
thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.